Ready to dominate at the plate? Blast Baseball is trusted by more major league and college teams than any other hitting solution. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 at checkout to save $25. All right, everybody, it is 9 o'clock. Let's get right into it. We do this show every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern on X Spaces. I'm Alan Gay, and this is Now D1 Speaks. Man, we got a big show tonight. We got a big-time prospect. We got Nick DeMaio on. He is a 24 uncommitted. He's out of Pennsylvania. Hey, Nick, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, fantastic. I am so glad you are joining us. Why don't you kind of kick it off, man? Let us know where you go to high school, what your GPA is. Hey, who'd you play for over the summer? And, man, how'd you get into playing baseball?
I go to Regina Luminous Academy. It's a super small Catholic school in Berwyn, Pennsylvania, so not too far from Philadelphia. My GPA is a 4.6 out of 5. And then for travel, I play for Elite National. So we're right out of around like this area. We play all over. A lot of our tournaments are in, the Maryland, Philadelphia area. And then, I've been playing baseball all my life. I started when I was younger in T-ball, just how a lot of people do. And then I've been playing ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for walking through that. So Regina Luminous, you say it's a small school. Like, what does that mean? How small is your senior class?
So my senior class, it's probably smaller than you're thinking. My class is only 12 kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. And now is this just a high school, or is this 1 through 12?
It's pre-K through 12. So we have all the grades.
Gotcha. How long have you been going?
Actually, so last year was my first year.
So tell me, how did you end up transferring there? How did that take place?
So there was, I was at a different school called Devon Prep, which isn't that far from my high school now. From middle school all the way through halfway through my sophomore year. And I don't know, things weren't going so well at that school. So I wound up transferring to a different school where my older brother was at because they had a really solid baseball team. And then I didn't really like the environment there too much, and the environment at my school now is just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I wound up transferring there for my junior year and then now this year.
Well, happy for you that you found the right environment, man. That's fortunate. So I take it that Regina Luminous does not have a baseball team.
No, we do not have a baseball team.
Okay, all right. And then obviously Elite National is really your travel team.
Yeah, that's my travel team. So that's where I get most of my reps in is for travel.
Yeah, absolutely. And then are you doing some additional training, going to like a personal trainer or a batting coach or whatever the case may be?
I have been seeing some trainers, for whatever it is, hitting, fielding. No one at the moment right now. So all of my work is mainly individual.
Gotcha, absolutely. And tell us a little bit about Elite National. Did you guys have a good summer?
Yeah, we actually had a really great summer. A lot of the tournaments, they're not too far. We got to play at some good places. We played at Johns Hopkins. That was a good tournament. Their field is absolutely beautiful. Some close by tournaments at high schools near us, near where I am. A lot of the kids on the team are from all over. We had 2 kids from Texas, brothers from Idaho, so that was pretty cool getting to see all of them. But then I would say probably the pinnacle of the summer, we got to play down in Georgia, a perfect game tournament. And that was, it could have went better. We could have won more, but it was still great.
That's a fantastic place to go, man. You're down in Atlanta. Was that at Lake Point?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's a great place. Great environment, man. It sounds like a fun summer, and it is an elite national team. You got kids coming from all over the place. That's really cool. So, Nick, let me ask you, what position or positions do you play, and what are your strengths, and maybe something that you're just trying to work on improving?
So I play anywhere in the infield, mostly short and third, but I've taken a ton of reps at first and second. I do like playing first base a lot just because I don't play it as much. So it's fun to get some work in there. But I'm super versatile, so I can play just about anywhere aside from catcher. Catcher's basically the only position that I'm not that good at. So I consider myself a true utility guy. In terms of strength, just because of my size, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'3", 180. So my size and my strength, I have a lot of power at the plate. That's definitely probably my biggest strength. Um, and then in terms of weaknesses, uh, I'm working on getting more mobile, and I'm working on getting faster. I've been running a ton recently to try to get faster because that's probably where my game's lacking at most right now.
Hey, man, thanks for that walkthrough. And I tell you what, if you got power at the plate, you know what? You don't have to be that fast. Just hit the ball far
Yeah.
enough. You don't really have to be that fast. I love it. Man, that was a great description. 6'3", 180. You are big. Are you spending time in the weight room as
Yeah,
well?
I am. I'm working out basically um, every day of the week, and then Saturdays as well. So, yeah, spend a good amount of time in the weight room.
Good stuff, man. What's your favorite lift?
My favorite lift, I like hitting back and buys. It's probably my favorite day of the week. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like the back. I like that, man. That's good. Don't forget your
Yeah, that's
legs.
true.
No question about it. And let me ask you something. You were talking a little bit about mobility. So what are you doing specifically maybe to kind of work on mobility?
Just footwork drills, just so I can make sure my footwork is down pat in the field and there's nothing to worry about there. Um, yeah, just basic footwork drills.
Okay, outstanding. Hey, everybody that's joined, thank you so much for being here. We absolutely appreciate the support of Now D1 and appreciate the support of Nick as well. If you got in late, don't worry about it. We record this space. We're going to be able to retweet it out later in its entirety, and you'll be able to hear it then. Hey, we're talking with Nick DeMaio. He is a 24 uncommitted out of Pennsylvania. Got great size, 6'3", 180. A lot of power at the plate. True utility guy. I mean, I think he's got a bright future, so it's going to be a fun evening all night. So let me ask you something. Hey, you've been playing since T-ball, been playing a long time, had a lot of success. What is it that you're really doing to keep yourself motivated, though, to continue to work on the skills that you have and just to make them better?
I would say that just keeping my mind focused on the end goal is really what keeps me mostly motivated. And in baseball, there really is no end goal. You can keep playing all the way up until you're on TV. So I think that the fact that there is no end goal, just keeping my mind on that, really just keeps me motivated. I just keep chasing more and more goals.
Well, let's talk about some goals and some big moments, maybe, and big achievements that you've had while you've been playing. If you could kind of really narrow it down to maybe the biggest achievement or the most memorable moment, what would it be? And then maybe more importantly, hey, Nick, what'd you learn from it?
I would say one of my biggest achievements was when I had a game against my old high school team. I pitched a no-hitter, and I don't pitch a lot anymore. And I really am a pitcher. I'm more of a fielder. So just being able to um, do that really just showed me like, yeah, I'm good at this game. I just need to stay dialed in always, and I'm gonna see like victories.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with being a little salty about wearing out your old high
Yeah.
school. So, what year was that? Was that your junior year, sophomore year?
Yeah, that was my sophomore year. So this was after I transferred from Devon Prep, as I was saying, to my previous school, which was Monsignor Bonner, and then that was again before I transferred to my current high school.
Yep, I got you. I understand 100%. Yep, definitely poured the salt in the
Yeah.
wound there. And I tell you, that does speak a lot, man. Just a good athlete. They felt confident just putting you anywhere out on the field. Big time stuff, man. Thanks for kind of walking through that, Nick. Hey, when you were introducing yourself, man, you absolutely touched on your GPA. That's a big time GPA. How are you staying? Um, how are you able to balance your academic workload with your athletic workload and still be successful in both?
I would say that I kind of set school time apart from baseball. When it's time for school, I put 100% effort into school, and when it's time for baseball, I put 100% effort into baseball. And I try not to let the two mix too much. And like I said earlier, like you pointed out as well, my my school is too small to have a team, so that it's kind of a blessing in the sense that I have way more time to spend on work and then spend on just practicing on my own. So just managing my time well really is how I stay on top of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a blessing in many ways. I mean, really what's going to help you in life is how well you're doing in the classroom ultimately. So, I mean, that's fantastic. I love that. And let me ask you something though, in regards to baseball, does Elite National, are they going to play, do they play a fall schedule?
Yeah, we have a fall schedule. We have a tournament this coming weekend, actually. To be honest, I totally forget where it's at. I have to check. But then we actually go to Arizona and Nevada in a couple weeks, pretty soon actually. So that'll be pretty fun as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, again, everyone that's joining, we absolutely appreciate it. I mentioned earlier that we record the space so that we can retweet it out in its entirety, but we also record it because we turn it into a podcast, and the podcast is now D1 Speaks. And really, our majority of guests are uncommitted prospects, whether they're in high school, they're in college, junior college, transfer portal, wherever it is. It's an opportunity to really be heard. And our core subscribers and listeners of the podcast are college coaches. And what we've really kind of found out about this program, this podcast, is that when coaches are recruiting and they come and see somebody play, they absolutely know they can already play. They know they're going to be big, fast, strong. They can play baseball. The thing that often that they're very, very interested in is what their makeup is all about. And, what kind of student are they? How do they treat their teammates? How do they treat their coaches? How do they treat their family? Are they upstanding citizens? What are they doing in their off time? Or are they in the weight room? This type thing. And this environment, as you're kind of getting a sense from Nick, really gives you an opportunity to say, hey, these are some of the things that I am doing and accomplishing when I'm not on the baseball field. So I think the coaches have really kind of dialed into this podcast, and it's given them an opportunity to kind of check off that one last box to make sure that guys that they're absolutely interested in have the right type of makeup as well. Hey, Nick, let me ask you something now. Over the course of your career, have there been any particular players or coaches that have really been influential to your game and your development?
Yeah, I've had a couple coaches that have just super. They push me a lot to be my absolute best. But one coach in particular, uh, this goes back to Little League actually. Um, One thing that he told me is when I was on the mound, pitching, he would tell me, just think about your favorite song, and play it in your head. And I think that's kind of always stuck with me. I think it's kind of funny, but also the principle of it is that just have fun while you're playing, So that I remember him a lot, and I think about that moment a lot, just because that's kind of helped me, just to remember, just have fun out there while I'm playing.
I like that advice. It is a game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a game at the end of the day.
No question about it. Hey, do you recall his name?
Yeah, his name was Steve.
Okay, man, I love it. Coach Steve in Little League kind of got things off on the right
Yes,
foot.
sir.
Hey, let me ask you something. Who's the coach with Elite National?
John Grasse. He also coaches at Archbishop Carroll. It's a Catholic high school around the Philadelphia area.
Okay, I got it. Hey, man, that program absolutely sounds squared away. Like they've got their act together. I think you've gotten hooked up with some big time talent and big time coaches right
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
Okay, so let me kind of think back again. We were talking about how are you really maintaining that GPA in the classroom, doing well, and balancing that with success on the baseball field. How do you really prepare mentally for a game? Whether it was last season's high school type games or during the summer with Elite National. Do you have a very specific routine that you like to go through, or do you just maybe have a couple of maybe like a ritual or something like that that is kind of your go-to?
I wouldn't say it's anything specific. I don't have any rituals before a game. I just I like to take things super slow. You know, make sure I sleep good, make sure I eat good before a game. But I just like to take things slow, um, and just really block out everything before a game. Block out all the nonsense of the world, and just focus in on what matters in that moment, which is baseball. And I like to visualize in my mind before a game something good. Whether that's a double down the line or a couple nice plays in the field. Just visualizing that helps me get in the right mindset before the game starts.
Heck yeah, absolutely. I was kind of waiting for you to talk about Coach Steve and maybe playing your favorite song while
Yeah,
you're warming up.
I'm not a big music guy before the games. I used to be, but not anymore. I just like to. I might sound crazy for saying that, but I actually don't listen to music before games.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everybody's got to have their own thing that really makes them comfortable, and they like to repeat it over and over. It just kind of gives you that sense of comfort before you get into it. And I can appreciate what you're saying. From a distance, I've always wondered about all athletes when they've got in headphones or have on headphones or their AirPods or whatever it is, and they're listening to what they're listening to. I've always kind of like listening to the sounds of the environment, whatever's kind of happening around me. So everybody's kind of got their own little niche there that really kind of gets them ready. We were talking about maybe what's driving you to keep pushing yourself to improve your skills. And one of the things you jumped out and said was your end goal. Whatever it may be, you kind of got an end goal. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about goals, really goals for your baseball career. Where do you see yourself here in the short term? As you kind of finish up this fall season with Elite National and roll into the summer, what are those goals? And then what are your little bit longer term goals, maybe over the next 2 to 5 years?
So some of my short term goals. One, I'm a tall guy, but I've a lot of um, I'm on the leaner side. So one of my short term goals would be to just put on more muscle. Hopefully, like 10 or 15 pounds of just straight muscle. And then, like clean up my game a little bit anywhere. Just make sure um, everything is looking tight and clean. Um, and then in terms of long term, I just want to play as competitively as I can. As far as I can make it. That's what I want to do. Um, but also while getting as many reps as I can. Uh, but just making it as far as I can would definitely be the long term goal.
Heck yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, some good weight, good lean muscle. Man, if you were 6'3", 190, 195, yeah, that's big time
Yeah,
right
definitely.
there. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, for sure. And then have you, and kind of just thinking about being at the next level, and going to college and so forth, have you given any consideration as to what you potentially may major in? Do you have an interest right
Yeah, I
now?
want to go down a similar path. My dad, he he sells insurance and then also helps out people with like financial services, and that's pretty interesting to me. I'd like to do something like that. So I've been talking with him a little. He When he was in college, he double majored in finance and risk management. So hopefully something along those lines. I'm not 100% dead set on what I want to do yet, but something along those lines. Hopefully, financial services, insurance, somewhere along there.
Got it. Good stuff right there. Nothing wrong with that. I like it. It's a great career path. So let's talk a little bit about getting to the next level. As I know you're well aware of, really to have the opportunity to play somewhere else, you need to be recruited. Just kind of talk to us a little bit about your recruiting process and where you are and how it's going. No need to mention any school names or anything like that, but just kind of give us a sense of how things are going.
Things are going pretty well, as senior year, so things are getting more serious. Um, Less time than if I were to be a junior or sophomore, and now I'm starting to narrow down my schools to about 5 to 7, where I really am targeting. Like these are these schools that I'm most serious about. And I'm in contact with a few of them. So I'm just waiting to get in front of them more and then hopefully make a decision relatively soon.
Hey, man, congratulations. That's ideal to already be having a little bit of a list that you're really getting narrowed down to that you're absolutely interested in. And, it's one of those things that people always say, hey, it's not a 40-year decision, it's a 40. Well, it truly is a 40-year decision. And I love the fact that hey, man, you're putting in the work in the classroom. You've already got an outstanding GPA. You're thinking about what it is potentially you may want as a long-term career, whenever that career may start. And I mean, that's the type of things that you need to be doing. That type of work will really set you up for so much success down the road, and I know that you're probably thinking about it, you and your family, when you have an opportunity to really narrow down to 3 or 4 schools. I know you got the list of 5 to 7, maybe get it down to 1 or 2. I think it's just going to be critical for anyone, but especially for you as well, Nick, to really be looking at that school and say, man, if I didn't play baseball, is this the kind of school I'd want to go to? Do they really offer everything that I want if I was not an athlete? If I'm going to be a student, do they have the major I want? Is the size of the school that I really like, the distance from home, the type of culture that's there, whatever it is. And you could check all those boxes off and say, yeah, this is where I want to be. You're going to be super successful then. Then baseball will just kind of fall right in line.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, man, you're doing it the right way. Hey, Nick, it's been a great night, man. You're super mature. You got a lot going for you. Big kid, a lot of power, 6'3", 180, room to grow, play all over the baseball field, just a good athlete, got good grades. Hey, man, you got a bright future right here in front of you.
Thank you.
No question. So kind of thinking about that, let's wrap it up maybe one last question. And you kind of think about how you've gotten to where you are as a senior now. If you could look back and maybe even younger kids, somebody as young as Coach Steve saying, hey, just be singing a song in your head. If you could talk to some younger kids that really enjoy baseball and they just want to play and be as good as they can for as long as they can, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would tell them just to have fun. You can't play the game forever. You get to the point where, you get too old and you just can't do it anymore. Your body can't keep up with you. So I would tell them just to have fun. And then also baseball, more than any other game, is a game of failure, So it's going to get harder than most things you're going to have to do in your life. But at the end of the day, it's a game. It was made for you to have fun. So I would just tell them that to not give up, to try your absolute hardest, and just most importantly, have fun while you're playing the game.
Absolutely, man. That's some great advice right there. And I think that's probably some advice that you're living out yourself as well. And that's the way you need to be handling things. Hey, Nick, man, I have absolutely enjoyed this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed it as well, and that you enjoyed kind of walking through some of our conversations.
Yeah, I have. It was great. I thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely, man. I'm really looking forward to your success and how you do going forward. So, again, thanks for being on. Everyone that was able to join this evening, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate it. And I think with that, we're just going to end it. So, good night.
Good night.
Hey, let me ask you something. Are you ready to dominate at the plate this season? Blast Baseball is the #1 hitting improvement solution, trusted by more major league, college, and travel ball teams than any other. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Metrics are automatically sent to a smartphone app, generating insights that allow you to analyze and improve your hitting like never before. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 and you will save $25 at checkout. Unlock your potential with Blast.